Oh, okay, this is Steve from Steve's Locksmith Shop, and I'm just doing a little review on this Chinese Mortise lock drill jig I just purchased. Came in this nice little carrying case. Everything fits in here. I have it set up on the door, but fits in here pretty good. Comes with 3 different cutters, a 22 millimeter, 25 millimeter, and an 18 millimeter. I got the 18 millimeter on it right now. Comes with a little ruler that was in there, some extra screws that you don't need, a couple wrenches for putting on the cutters. The cutters go on the end of the mandrel. If you see, that's the 18 millimeter, and they are. Let's see if I zoom in there. They are carbide cutters, very sharp, very nice cutter. Just in the U.S., if you had to buy that cutter, it would be every bit of $40, and I paid $48 for this entire drill jig. It's not a jig you're going to use a lot. Nice thing is it has these stops here. So basically what you'll do is you're going to draw on your mortise lock onto the door. You'll draw on the pattern, how high it is, and then you'll set your stops so it can't go any higher or can't go any lower. And then you're going to put a stop on your shaft also. So you loosen this up and you'll slide a stop on the shaft. Actually, that's tightened up so I can't do it, but let's see here. There we go. And you'll set that to how deep you want to go. And you'll just put your drill on it and just grab a hold of this and you're going to mortise it out. But as you can see, this thing's made really good. It has bearings in it. And it's a big heavy cast aluminum. You can see the cast aluminum, how heavy it is. The clamp's real secure. Has rubber, let's see if you zoom out here. Rubber mounts so it doesn't scratch the door. It's spring loaded. It's just a nice little jig for drilling out mortise locks. Prior to me having this, I've never had a mortise lock jig. I always just did it with a spade bit, and you know, with a spade bit, you're risking, and then you go in with a wood chisel, and this is just going to be so much quicker just because I can mortise them out. I don't do a lot of mortise locks, but when I do, I might get someone with a custom door that they bought in Brazil, and they want to put a Baldwin or a M-Tech mortise lock in, and this is the cat's ass. But anyways, I just want to show you guys, it's really a cool mortise jig for $48. It definitely is going to save you a ton of time. Very well made. Super impressed with it. And I did look up the cutters on eBay. I did buy this from eBay, but I looked up these cutters on eBay, and they're about $10. You could buy just the cutters. So, and there are a few different sizes. You could zoom in on that cutter because this cutter is super nice, super sharp. You know, very. You know, they didn't have, for this price point, they didn't have to put carbide cutters in here. They could have used high-speed steel. But this is just made so well. And I kind of think that it was made so well, not for the U.S. market, because we don't use a ton of mortise locks. I mean, there are some on some of the richer houses. But in Europe, there's a ton of mortise locks on everything. So potentially, this was made for that market. But it opens the door for a lot of guys that wouldn't normally install it, just to have this thing on your van for $40. I think it was $48 I paid. And when you need it, this thing is going to save your butt. Anyway, Steve from Steve's Locksmith signing off.